999ers risk their lives every day keeping us safe.
You're putting yourself out there to help other people at their most precious time of need.
But all too often, they're abused and attacked.
Their house is on fire and they're attacking us.
I was standing up with her hands around my throat.
These personal attacks on police, paramedics and firefighters are at an all-time high.
He's telling me, I'm going to kill your wife and I'm going to kill your family and I'm going to kill you.
Leaving them traumatised and unable to work.
How do you come to terms with knowing that you can't go and do the job that you love?
But while the violent criminals responsible are hunted down and brought to justice, our protectors fight to get well and back on the job.
We kept people safe, we put away the bad guys.
I'm not going to let some man ruin it for me. This is my future, this is what I enjoy doing.
Ready to face the next critical incident. Coming up, a quiet town in North East Wales is shocked by a spate of burglaries at Christmas.
The worst type of crime, where someone's gone into another's home and they've taken presents from under the tree.
Which end with an assault on a local police community support officer.
I've gone to handcuff him and that's where it all went a bit wrong from there, really.
And in Birmingham, an attack leaves an officer in crutches.
The day after it happened, I felt like I'd been hit by a train. The scenic town of Llangollen in Denbighshire in North Wales is situated on the River Dee and based at the foot of the spectacular Berwyn and Clwydian mountain ranges. The last place you would expect an assault on the police.
Let him go.
The town and surrounding area have been PCSO Carl Joseph's patch for the last 8 years. As a police community support officer in such a scenic area, one of Carl's most important tasks is to keep an eye out for criminal activity which might damage the local environment.
Sorry, say again. Much, it's just littering at the end of the day, isn't it? I'm a police community support officer. Basically the old style Bobby on the beat, I like to call it. Meeting people on the street and just back up for the police. People lighting little fires just to get rid of rubbish that they've had. It's, you know, it really does annoy me, really. Get your rubbish and take it home. I absolutely love this job. I've been doing it 13 years, and it's the first job I've ever had where I actually don't mind getting out of bed at 6 o'clock in the morning to get to work for 7 o'clock, even in the winter. Every day is different. You get a lot of respect off members of the public as well, which is nice. And it's just nice to chat to people.
Another problem Carl regularly comes across is illegal off-road vehicles.
What a lot of bikes have been doing is going off track and then going over the grass bank where they've made their own little off-road course. As you can see, it's been used over the last few years by 4x4s, and we've got motorcycle tracks here as well. It's left a big scar mark. This area is protected, it's triple SI site, and basically these people shouldn't be coming up here doing this. There is a perfectly good road for them to stay on, and that's where they should be staying.
But as well as protecting the landscape, Carl also protects the people of Llangollen, the small scenic town at the foot of the mountain.
A lot of people know me by first name, which is how I like it. It's just great knowing that people can come up to me with any issues they've got, and I'll see what I can do to solve it for them. How's it going? You all right, yeah? Hi, you all right?
People do know him, which is exactly what we expect from him in his role. He's the eyes and ears. People will approach him. He'll engage with the community, which is exactly what we need.
No, you're all right.
And if he identifies a problem, then we'll look to try and solve that or to target the activity which that brings. He works hard, he's dedicated to the team, and he's always out looking for problems, looking to try and solve them. He's likeable, he's always cracking a joke. You can see the way he is, he's a personable sort of guy, and that's why we get so much out of him in terms of how he interacts with members of the community.
Oh, yeah, you're all right. We're not police officers. We deal with the low-end scale of things. You can expect anything, really. Anything can happen. Whether it's helping a little old lady across the road, whether it's dealing with shoplifters, going to RTCs, giving first aid to people. There's a variety of things that we get to do.
The picturesque and friendly Welsh town is proud of its low levels of crime, which is why a violent incident in December 2018 was all the more shocking. A series of burglaries in villages surrounding Llangollen had everyone on high alert. A call had come in that the latest target was a nearby village, and Carl's colleague made her way there to investigate.
I got into work, sat in front of the computer, about to log on. Sarah called me on the radio and said, "Can you come up to Corwin," which is a little village 10 miles outside of Llangollen.
I was very aware that there'd been a few thefts of Christmas presents, burglaries, the worst type of crime, where someone's gone into another's home and they'd taken presents from under the tree and stolen items.
Carl makes his way to the village, where the latest burglary has taken place.
I was conducting CCTV inquiry, and I kind of noticed the car that the offender had pulled up in. We'd seen the offender on the camera.
Carl recognises the suspected thief's car as one he'd seen back in Llangollen.
I contacted Sarah and said, "I'll go back to Llangollen and see whether or not I can see this car." This is the route I took that morning to come and find the car. I've basically come to the end of the road here. I've looked down there, I've seen the car just parked, it's at about 20, 30 feet, just down there. With the door open, and I just caught a glimpse of someone going inside. So then I've basically just ran across the road and hid by the hedge over the road. And that's when I've seen Sarah going into the property, and that's when I've run back across the road and gone in to try and assist.
Take the right!
When Carl enters the property, his colleague Sarah asks for his help with arresting the suspect. And Carl immediately turns on his body-worn camera.
You're going to get tasered!
I walked into the property and there was just TVs and all other things all over the floor. You could barely move on the floor. What looked like stolen property from people's houses at Christmas time were in this guy's house.
Where is it?
Sarah's asked me to handcuff this male as he was under arrest. And I've gone to handcuff him, and that's where it all went a bit wrong from there, really. He wouldn't let me handcuff him. He put up a bit of a fight, and we just got into a full-blown fight there. I was trying to stop him leaving.
You've got two officers going into an arena with 4 people unknown to us, so when you don't know who you're dealing with, that in itself is a risk. Carl, as a PCSO, has limited equipment. His role isn't to go into violent situations. This just happened to be a situation which developed into that quickly.
Sarah drew her baton, started hitting him. Basically, he was trying his best to get away, he was trying his best to hit me.
Later, the offender makes a run for it and the violence escalates. Illegal motorbike riding is not just a threat to the environment of North Wales. When these bikes are ridden dangerously, they pose a serious threat to the public and police. In the West Midlands, the police are pursuing 3 off-road bikers illegally riding on the streets. It's illegal to ride these bikes on public roads as they cannot be insured. The bikers fail to stop and are now weaving through traffic and on pavements. The gang splits up, forcing officers to pursue just one of the riders. But this rider speeds through red lights, narrowly missing drivers. A police helicopter is brought in as the bike hits 80 miles per hour in residential streets. Officers decide to bring the pursuit to a safe halt. An officer deploys a stinger, a series of spikes which deflates the tyres. The tactic is successful and the pursuit is brought to an end. The offender pleaded guilty to dangerous driving and driving without a licence or insurance. He was given 14 months in a young offender institution, suspended for a year, banned from driving for 2 years, ordered to abide by a curfew, and do 80 hours of unpaid community work. We first met West Midlands police officer Emma Ajay in 2018 when she was recovering from a nasty assault.
I think it did affect my confidence a little bit. It certainly made me realise that I'm mortal, you know, and these things do happen.
Emma had been called to a domestic disturbance.
I offered to attend, but I was supported by a taser unit of 2 male officers.
The incident had been dealt with quite quickly and a man had been arrested. But as Emma and her colleague tried to get him into the back of their van, the man's son became aggressive.
All right. Get away from my colleague. Get away from my colleague.
He started coming at me, pushing me, punching me, and I was just going with it and pushing him back, until, you know, I could feel him punching me. And I thought, I need to try and do something to stop him from coming at me some more, so I tried to take him to the floor. Somehow I ended up on the floor as well, and the next thing I know, he was on top of me. I couldn't fight him off, and I was frightened. I was really frightened. He'd got his hand at the back of my head, gripped onto my hair and was smashing my head off the road, and he'd got his hand around my throat as well. I could hear this screaming, and I didn't realise till afterwards that that was me. One of my colleagues sprayed him with the captor spray that we carry and eventually got him off.
How dare you attack a female, really?
I walked away when someone else had taken over, and I just felt my head. I thought, it feels a bit sore. And then I just suddenly pulled my hair, and I'd got a ball of hair in my hand. And I thought, well, it's evidence. I'll put it in an exhibit bag.
Get yourself checked. No, I'm all right. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm okay.
I was still in shock, But I mainly told my colleagues that I was okay because physically I was okay. I hadn't got bits of me hanging off or anything, I was all in one piece. But emotionally I was a mess.
Come with me. Come with me. I'll take her.
I'm okay. I'm okay.
You can come with me.
I wasn't okay. You can tell in my voice. But you just tell your colleagues because you don't want to cry in front of them. When I was taken away by my colleague, I broke down then.
I'm okay, Matt.
After a few weeks off, Emma returned to work, hoping to put the incident behind her. But sadly, she experienced several more attacks.
I do ask myself why is it always me that gets battered? I was assaulted 4 times that year. I think it just demonstrates that it's a dangerous job that we do.
The most recent incident happened when Emma and her colleague pulled over a vehicle they suspected of having no insurance.
My colleague was escorting the man to the back of our vehicle, and then suddenly he started to struggle with her. And by which time, when I went round to join them, we had a struggle, and I ended up getting flung to the floor. I landed on the left side of my body. I've sustained injury to my left knee, and I cracked a bone in my left hand. The day after it happened, I felt like I'd been hit by a train. I was in pain with my leg and my wrist and hand. Felt pretty useless, really, because I couldn't walk very far without being in pain. Just felt useless, and people had to go and fetch things for me, and I like to do things for myself.
Emma is receiving intensive physiotherapy and other treatments for the injuries to her wrist and knee.
I can't straighten my left leg fully because I've got injury to my knee. It's currently being investigated. I've had a MRI scan on Monday, and I'm receiving hydrotherapy and physiotherapy on my knee. And I haven't been back to work since. It hurts to put any weight on it. And I'm walking with a crutch. I have to admit, I did have a little cry at hydrotherapy yesterday. It's been going on for the past 9 weeks. I'm in constant pain. It's just getting me down at the minute. It's very exhausting, I think, being in pain all the time. So I think I just had a bit of a cry to myself. I love my job. I love being part of the response team, and I miss it terribly. But at the same time, I'm reluctant to go back. Because I'm off work at the moment, kind of lost my identity a little bit. But at the same time, I want to take as much time as I can to recover from my injuries and make sure that I recover properly before I go back to work.
Since this latest attack, Emma has been off work for 5 months and now faces a difficult decision.
I've been part of the response team for 13 years. I did envisage seeing out the rest of my career on response because I love the challenges. I don't think I could go back out there and deal with the jobs that they're dealing with. I'm a bit frightened now. Frightened of getting injured again, or worse. It's upsetting because I've had to make a decision to leave the front line, and it should be down to me to make that decision. But unfortunately, someone's assaulted me again and caused me injury that I may not recover from fully.
Although she left frontline policing, Emma is determined not to leave the job she loves altogether. And she's now embarking on an exciting new chapter in her career, a promotion that will mean less frontline work.
I'm thinking about going for the promotion exam from constable to sergeant. But I always wanted to challenge myself, so I'd like to get the exam passed, hopefully, and take it from there. I see the future at work presenting me with new challenges. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it.
Emma passed her exams and is now progressing her career as a sergeant with the West Midlands Police. Still to come, a burglar trying to escape arrest lashes out at PCSO Carl Joseph.
I was in agony. I couldn't see anything in front of me.
And after a 30-year career in the police,
when you join the police, you think you're indestructible, or a lot of people do, including myself.
Colin Dixon is assaulted 3 times in 1 year.
It's usually a day or so afterwards that you know, when the adrenaline's finished and the incident's finished, that you start to kind of work out what's happened.
Dangerous drivers can be an enormous threat to police officers and public alike. In this footage, police dog Neon from the West Midlands Police and his handler are on the trail of a suspected dangerous driver in Coventry. They were called in after the driver allegedly rammed a police car. The driver is trying to escape and has run behind a row of terraced houses, but Neon quickly picks up his scent. Neon starts to bark and the suspect gives himself up. The 34-year-old was arrested on suspicion of dangerous driving, all thanks to brave police dog Neon. Back in North Wales, PCSO Carl Joseph and his colleague Sarah are attempting to apprehend a man who is suspected of committing a spate of burglaries just before Christmas. But all is not going to plan, and the man is resisting arrest.
You're going to get tasered!
Sarah drew her baton, started hitting him. Basically, he was trying his best to get away, he was trying his best to hit me. And that's when she took her spray out and has gone to spray him, and he squeezed her hand very tightly to get the spray off her. He caught Sarah in one of her eyes and down the side of her face. He had the spray in his hand, and went this far away from my face, and he unleashed near enough the whole bottle into my face from about 6 to 10 inches away. That was just a burning, horrible sensation. It went in both eyes, ear, up my nostrils, hit the back of my throat, all over my face. Just taking my breath away. It was burning the back of my throat. It was making my eyesight go. I just felt like I was on fire. Sarah was still trying to get him, shouting at him to stop.
Let him go, let him go, let him go.
I got forced back onto the wall, so I made the conscious decision to just let him go. Said to Sarah, just let him go, we'll get him outside. He's run off down the pathway. Sarah's gone after him. She got sprayed in her face as well.
With Carl incapacitated by CS spray, the offender makes a run for it, but he slips and falls on the ground.
I've gone up to him then, he's stood back up, and I've gripped him and I've took him down to the floor. And then 2 members of the public have come along with Sarah and helped restrain him and get him handcuffed.
Go on.
Hands behind your back! Now! Get your hands behind your back!
I was in agony. I couldn't, at this point now, I couldn't see anything in front of me.
I can't see, sir. He sprayed me right in the face. my face.
We were able to capture that guy quickly, get the property back, and that person has been detained, and the place is a safer place. You know, Llangollen is a safer town with the actions of these two officers.
Get up. Stay there. Do not move.
The offender pleaded guilty to 3 counts of burglary, 2 counts of assault with intent to resist arrest, and possession of a noxious liquid, captor spray. He was sentenced to 51 months in prison. Carl was commended for his actions on the day, but the incident left him shaken and traumatised.
I had to go for an X-ray. Luckily it came back as no damage. I came home to my partner gave me a big hug. I did tell my eldest daughter what happened. She did ask if I was all right. I think she was a bit proud that I managed to lock someone up. My youngest sat on my knee all night, stroking my face. That night, lying in bed, it took me ages to go to sleep. Everything was just playing over my mind. It was still all fresh in my mind. You know, I could see things in there that could have been used as weapons. What if one of the other people decided to pick one of these things up and, you know, anything could have happened, but luckily it never. And, you know, so just try not to dwell on the what ifs, but it's always, you know, even now it's still there in the back of my mind.
One of the ways Carl has been able to move on from his traumatic incident was to get back to his favourite pastime as the lead singer in his own rock band, Before the Storm.
I'm in a band with a great bunch of lads, and we just like to go out and perform and make beautiful music for people. You know, I work hard, I work a lot of hours. I try and gig whenever I can, because that is my other passion as well.
But just a few days after the incident, while performing at a gig, Carl was reminded of the trauma he'd been through.
I was doing a gig on New Year's Eve at a pub I've been singing in for years, and someone dropped a glass, and I jumped out my skin. And I'm not that type of person, but it really panicked me, and I was like, what's going on? I really struggled throughout the entire gig. Not only my throat was still sore anyway after being sprayed, but yeah, I wasn't right.
Despite this setback, performing as a musician continues to be an important part of Carl's life and a welcome distraction from his role as a PCSO.
Tonight was absolutely phenomenal. Great venue and great crowd. Some people look at the police and see a robot. We're not robots, we are humans, we have families, we have hobbies, and we have a life outside of the job.
With just a few days off after the incident, Carl was soon back patrolling the streets and quiet country roads of Llangollen.
Carl is a brave guy. He could have wallowed in feeling sorry for himself, but do you know what? He's a strong guy. He's got back into work, and the community will always be grateful for the actions on that day.
Getting back to his everyday duties, protecting the public and the environment, have proved to be just the tonic that Carl needed.
Just going onto one of the local off-road tracks. I had a report of a 4x4 that's been abandoned on there. I was not looking forward to walking up a muddy hill. It's a Land Rover in silver. Steering wheel's been taken off it, as of all the lights on the front. Apologies for all the heavy breathing there. I think Christmas has been a bit too kind to me.
Long term, he's back to his same chatty self. He still cracks jokes, which are bad, I'm sorry to say, but they are awful jokes. But we do tolerate them as much as we can.
It's a choice of doing this or working in a city. I definitely would rather do this, without a doubt. I'm in a forest. It's not raining, thankfully. It's not too cold, and it's one of the reasons why I love working where I work and doing the job I do.
Although policing is a dangerous job, protecting the public is at the heart of their role. It's why most police officers join the force in the first place, to help their community. In the Wirral, Inspector Craig O'Brien and Sergeant Tim Pottle are at the helm of one of Merseyside Police's emergency response teams.
As a response section, with sort of the jack of all trades really, you never know from one day to the next what you're going to be going in to deal with.
It's a challenging role, with a wide variety of crime and emergencies that require an urgent response.
We deal with obviously all the 999 calls that come out, provide people with that reassurance when they dial 999. There's people and staff at the end of the phone that are going to do their absolute best to get there as quickly and safely as possible and help them out.
And with a reduced number of officers, the challenges are even greater.
When I first started working the Wirral 10 years ago, I had a team of 14 officers just covering Birkenhead. Now I have a similar number of officers covering the whole of the Wirral. So we have a much reduced pool of officers for still quite, well, probably more work than we were dealing with back then.
Even though we're cut back in terms of numbers, we will always do absolutely everything that we possibly can to get there as quickly and as safely as we can to help people, to support people.
The supportive role of police in the community isn't confined to fighting crime. Tonight, Craig and Tim are responding to reports of a missing person.
The incident came out over the air, and listening to it, I think the initial report was a lady ringing up saying that her elderly husband with severe dementia has walked off and gone missing. As a supervisor, when we have people go missing, it's often down to us to coordinate the search.
It's not too far away, actually.
No, it's not.
Just over the road, really.
Thankfully, in this instance, Craig and Tim can avail of a new piece of technology which should give them a head start in finding the missing man.
No, that's fine. I think we'll make the informant in the first instance. We'll pick her up, and then hopefully she can help us track down her missing partner, and we'll be a friendly face when we do find her. One of the lines that I pick up on immediately is that he has a tracking device as part of his, I think it was on his wrist in a watch, which a lot of dementia patients have now, and it is a godsend for the police and emergency services. Hi there. Hi there.
Well, that's probably where we are,
Yeah,
I'd imagine.
Yeah. She's got an app on her phone which is linked to a watch that the gentleman's wearing, so hopefully it'll enable us to locate it very, very quickly. It's starting to get quite cold as well.
I think what I'd like to do, if we can, if you could jump in the car with us.
Yes, Echo, X-ray.
It's shown us here on the left. I can then start finding out a little bit more about the missing person. What's he wearing? Is he dressed appropriately for the conditions? It's getting cold. Just keep an eye out for him, see if you spot him. Hopefully we may come across him fairly soon. If we can't find him quickly, it's likely he's going to be out for an extended period of time. When did he last eat? When did he last drink? Is he on medication? He's got something warm on.
Yeah.
There was nothing particularly distinctive about his clothing, and the area that we were going to, there would be a lot of people who matched that age profile and probably clothing profile that we were going to come across. So I've gone into the car park, got my torch out and started searching, and immediately I've heard a lone voice talking, a male voice. So that's drawn my attention, and I found myself heading over towards the back of a particular shop that's got some stairs, but then immediately saw like a bright screen of a mobile phone and a young chap chatting. I thought, not the person I'm looking for.
Hello, it's not Philip, is it? No. You haven't seen a fella with red trousers and a green coat, have you?
Oh, green coat, my wife.
No, he's missing, and his tracker shows him somewhere around here, so we're just looking for him.
No, I'll keep an eye on him, mate.
Cool, thanks very much.
At that point, I've heard a shout from behind us, and a colleague had, who was still with the police car, was shouting that they'd spotted him.
You got him? Oh, good.
She found him. Sierra 134 with this missing chap now. I've got to the main road. I've seen her hugging, her partner, and thought, oh, that's such a relief, and another good result.
Hi there, you all right?
Oh, not again.
Hello.
Hello.
My name's Tim.
Hi.
Should we head back to the car?
Yeah.
I'll walk back if you want to jump in.
Do you want me to carry your bag, sir? You all right?
Gone are the days where we would perhaps reunite someone who'd been missing and then walk away. It's cold. They've got some shopping, which is what they originally to come out to. You don't want to make a big deal of it. You don't want to make it distressing for them. You want to make them feel comfortable. You want to make them feel supported.
So you've had a nice walk tonight, then? Nice. It's cold tonight, isn't it? Freezing.
Yeah.
That device you've got is very worthwhile.
This chap had a tracking device, which is really useful, and we were able to respond, get there quickly.
What I will say is, don't be shy about calling us. Anything like this, and the fact that you've got the tracking app is brilliant. And I'd rather come out and resolve it really quickly like this.
No problem.
Take care. Good night.
You take care now. Bye bye.
If we hadn't have found him quickly, it could have been a really different outcome. So I was pleased. I was relieved.
Colin Dixon is a police officer with 30 years' experience in West Yorkshire Police. He is at the Police Treatment Centre in Castlebrae in Scotland, a charity which provides treatment and support for injured serving and retired police officers. Colin is here for intensive therapy for an injury to his shoulder.
So again, if we're working on the weaker leg, we could drive it up with both legs and have that control.
The care predominantly has been physio, but it's not been physio exercises, it's been heat treatment, which have helped considerably with the pain that I was having. There's some exercises that we've been taught to do in our own time, as well as some upper body class work, which you do with other patients.
Again, tummy muscles are nice and tight.
Yeah. Massive amount to think about.
Yep.
It's a combination of things which hopefully get you leaving here with less pain than what you had when you came.
Fantastic.
Colin has had a fulfilling career in the police, with many standout moments.
My fondest memories of being in the police force is my time when I was seconded to a drugs team. It was a big eye-opener for me, the addictions that some of these people have got. Predominantly at the time in the 90s where we were in Leeds, it was heroin. I took a great deal of interest in trying to help the addicts, but also we spent an awful lot of time targeting the dealers that we knew were responsible. It was totally different to being in uniform, so you were in plain clothes. A lot of intense surveillance over many, many months. And many of them that were successful, that saw some prison sentences being handed out to several of the street dealers in the Leeds area.
Despite his years of experience, this past year has been extremely difficult for Colin. He's been assaulted 3 times while on duty.
The intensity of some of the assaults can stay with you for quite some time. In particular, the first one, which happened in March, that was a very violent attack, which just sparked out of nowhere.
The incident started while Colin was waiting in a police car for his partner, who was out on the street.
It was dark, it was still winter months, and he was speaking to this lad who was in dark clothing. I said, "Is everything all right there?" And he says he's been abusive to me. Then as we pulled away to set off, the same gentleman has shouted some abuse at us. and it's got to the point where we've stopped, we've got out, we've informed him he's under arrest for a public order offence. Very, very quickly, as soon as the first handcuff goes on his wrist, a split second, he changes from being compliant to absolutely not compliant and very, very violent. So resisting arrest, he's pulled me quite hard to pull away. I've kept hold of him, and when I've kept hold of him with the one handcuff, then he's been doing haymakers with his fist around my head, which I've had to sort of block myself, put my head to one side to avoid getting hit in the face. And this goes on for probably 60, 90 seconds. Before you know it really, he's on the ground after being sprayed with Parva spray. And it's a very quick incident, but there's a lot of adrenaline going on.
Initially, I didn't know I was injured. You know, when the adrenaline's finished and the incident's finished, that you start to kind of work out what's happened. And my shoulder was causing me a lot of pain.
The injuries that were caused through this arrest were damage to my left shoulder, and I was on strong painkillers. And eventually, I had to go and have my shoulder scanned at the hospital, where it showed that there was some degenerate damage.
Colin's attacker pleaded guilty to 2 counts of assault. He received a 50-day community sentence and was ordered to pay an £85 victim surcharge. This attack, along with previous incidents, made Colin reflect on his career.
My decision to retire was most definitely pushed on me through being assaulted a few times and a long-term injury with the shoulder. And if I was to go back without being physically and mentally well, policing is too fast and it's too furious to go into without really being lined up and switched on with what you should be dealing with.
My shoulder is better than it's ever been. We've had 2 weeks of intense treatment with it, so it's been really beneficial to come here.
Come back down, and what I want you to do is think about squeezing your heels together. Yeah. Clench your bum cheeks as tight as you can. Yeah.
The environment here is beautiful, so you can't help but soak that in. If you'd asked me at the beginning of 30 years if I would be finishing my service off in a Scottish convalescent home, I would say absolutely not. I'll be still catching prisoners and I'll be still doing high-octane policing. But you know what? I couldn't think of a better way to finish my service. I'm blessed because I can look back, hand on heart, and I don't have too much angst. And I can thank the police for 30 years of paid service. And I'm looking forward to doing some good with the service that I've had and the experience that I've got in a different field altogether. What that field is, I'm not sure.